From inmates who film their jailbreak to a woman who performs a simple Houdini trick to get back her freedom. Honestly, these prison escapes are thrilling to watch. But first, let's look at this inmate who grabbed the opportunity just at the right moment. Number 10. Escape through the booking area window. When you're really hungry for freedom, any slight opportunity presents a chance to escape. And sure enough, Derek Estelle is a man who never wastes any window of opportunity. Back in 2013, Estelle, who was held on several counts of robbery, was left alone in the booking room. And while officers were busy attending to a man who was just recently arrested, he took the courage to diligently jump over the counter through the booking area window and then run past police to find freedom. Even though one of the officers tried to squeeze through the window to get hold of Estelle, it was too late. On getting outside, Estelle found two assailants waiting in the parking lot who helped him to escape from Garland County Detention Center in Arkansas. The police immediately launched a search operation in the area for the 34-year-old. But it would take a whole month of searching before Estelle was eventually caught living in an abandoned home with his girlfriend, who was alleged to be among the assailants who helped him escape. Number 9. Freedom or fame? We all know that a prison breakout is something planned and executed in secrecy, but you're just about to meet daring inmates who decided to record themselves breaking out. Baek Duong, Hussein Nayeri, and Jonathan Tu smuggled a cell phone into the maximum security dorm room at the Orange County Central Men's Jail. And the only best way they could use the contraband phone was to document every move as they broke out of the prison. The footage shows the three inmates crawling through a vent and navigating through plumbing tunnels to the rooftop. Although the descent wasn't filmed, they later claimed to have used a rope to reach the ground. After making their way to the ground, they kidnapped a cab driver and forced him to take them to a van filled with supplies. They then hit the road, basking in their newfound freedom while police scrambled to catch them. Sadly for them, after sharing online the completely edited footage of their prison breakout while bragging about their deeds, authorities would catch up with them and they soon found themselves back behind bars. Number 8. She just walked out to freedom. While some take years of careful planning and heavy labor in executing their prison escape, this lady just proved that getting back your freedom can be as easy as walking out of two open steel doors. That's right, Tori Smith had been arrested for aggravated battery after a confrontation with her boyfriend, and while she was in the process of being booked into the Orleans Parish Jail back on November 23, 2009, she decided to take the slightest opportunity available to escape. Just after a police officer entered the facility and left two steel doors open, Smith simply walked through the open doors and then quickly pushed open the front gate of the jail. After escaping from prison, Smith was able to evade capture for several days, but she was eventually arrested again. And yeah, after such an incident, you can be sure the police were more careful with her, knowing that she is just a super smart criminal. Number 7. Perfect timing. Mike Maldonado was being transferred from Porter County Jail when fate intervened. As he sat in the back of the car waiting for the officers to transfer him, he noticed something odd. The gate at the Sally Port, which is where prisoners are brought in, hadn't fully closed yet. Without wasting a moment, Mike made his move. He leaped out of the car and ran towards the gate, which was still in the process of closing. With lightning-fast reflexes, he managed to slip under the gate just before it shut completely. The police officers were caught off guard and didn't have time to stop him. What happened next was nothing short of a nail-biting chase. The police officers searched the area for 2 whole hours but couldn't find any trace of Mike. It seems like he had vanished into thin air, but then a report of a stolen vehicle surfaced and the police quickly linked it to Mike. Finally, a day later, Mike was found and apprehended by the authorities. Number 6. Bulldozer breakout. When we talk about jailbreaks, in most cases it's about 1 or 2 inmates making their way out of jail. But here is a rather strange breakout that seems to have been well executed, giving freedom to dozens of inmates. Although it's not clear who planned the whole tumultuous escape, one thing remains: this strategy was pretty effective. The 1995 breakout incident involved using a bulldozer to crash through a prison wall in Denmark, allowing dozens of inmates to escape in the full glare of TV cameras. Whether the TV crew was part of the jailbreak execution or they were just at the right place at the right time, nobody knows. But they filmed the entire incident as prisoners escaped in a cloud of dust and debris, celebrating their newly regained freedom. Out of the 13 inmates who escaped, only 3 were ever caught, and so the only way the police could avenge their grief was by arresting one of the cameramen who filmed the incident on allegations of being involved in planning the jailbreak. Number 5. Escape at trash area. The success of any prison break depends highly on the speed and diligence of execution, and that's exactly what saved these two inmates. Shane Joe and Willie Ames were on a routine duty to throw out trash under the careful watch of a supervisor at Houston County Jail. But deep down in their heart was a burning desire for freedom. And so on June 4, 2018, after tossing out the garbage in a dumpster, they simply turned around the corner of the giant dumpster, leaving their supervisor out of view. It's at this moment that they sprint off on the open prison lawn, successfully escaping from the jail into the woods next to the jail. An intense manhunt was immediately launched against the two, and after just 2 days of searching, the duo was recaptured hiding in a nearby apartment complex. Number 4. Window of Opportunity. The next prison escape will leave you asking how far inmates can go to regain their freedom. A 17-year-old boy was arrested in October 2008 in school for fighting. However, a police officer manning him just committed a grievous mistake by leaving the guy alone in the interrogation room. Even though it was just for a brief moment, the young man used the opportunity to escape custody. And as you can see, he dived with his head through the window with his hands still handcuffed. The most worrying thing is that the window was about 16 feet high from the ground. Now that must be high enough to leave the guy with serious injuries, right? But miraculously, the guy landed safely and can be seen sprinting off from the jail. The officer would return minutes later to check on the locked up guy, only to be shocked that he was already on the loose. Whether this young man was ever rearrested, I'm not sure, but one thing is for sure, and that's how the officer manning him must have had a rough time explaining how the jailbreak happened. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's image shows a group of inmates who seem to be breaking out via a helicopter. Let's find out more about this image with Number 3. Escape via helicopter. Talk of well-orchestrated prison breakouts, and I think this must be one of them. Because honestly, this looks like something straight out of a movie, but that's exactly what happened on March 17, 2013 at the Saint-Jérôme Detention Center in Quebec. The whole incident was recorded on a surveillance camera as prisoners Danny Provencal and Benjamin Houdon Barbeau used a helicopter to find their freedom ticket. It all started as well as planned, with a team at the top of the roof hijacking a plane to allow the two inmates to escape. But as it seems, the two were not skilled enough to climb up the rope hanging from the helicopter parked on the roof. So the helicopter simply took off with the two inmates hanging tight on the rope. One wonders why the prison authorities could not detect this broad daylight escape. However, the two inmates would not taste freedom much longer, and within just 1 hour of their escape, they were eventually nabbed. Number 2. The Crossdresser. This is probably the craziest prison escape attempt you'll ever hear about. Clauvino da Silva was imprisoned for drug trafficking, but he was not ready to spend his entire life serving a sentence, and so the only solution was to come up with an insane plan to get him out of jail. His plan was simple: get his daughter to visit him in his cell, but then dress up as her to make his escape. But there was just one problem: his daughter was still locked up in his own cell, but this did not worry him. He donned a black wig, glasses, a bra, and a t-shirt, along with a silicone mask to complete the disguise. But the guards were suspicious, so they stopped him just to be sure it was the little girl. But they were shocked. In this footage, you can see the guards removing his glasses and wig to reveal his true identity, and as you can tell, the escape attempt was unsuccessful. This incident left the police wondering whether the daughter was involved in the plan, and after investigation, police discovered that 8 people were involved in sneaking the wig, mask, bra, and t-shirt into his cell. Number 1. The Uncuffable Lady. When authorities arrested Amber Gonzalez, a 30-year-old resident of Wisconsin, for theft and drug possession, they never speculated for a second that she might be a modern-day Houdini. But that's exactly what she proves in just a few hours after her arrest. After being taken to a holding cell, Amber found herself handcuffed to a wall with no means of escape. Alone in the room, she decides to plan for her escape. The CCTV footage captures her wriggling free from the handcuffs while at the same time trying to plan her escape on her phone. Eventually, Amber breaks free from the handcuffs, and from there she escaped through the emergency door and navigated through people's yards until she found a truck driver at a nearby gas station who helped her escape. However, Amber's luck was short-lived. In her foolishness, she decided to return to the same hotel as where she was arrested. And as you can guess, the staff spotted her instantly and signaled the authorities. She was rearrested within an hour, but this time around you can be sure the authorities won't be leaving her on her own. Thanks for watching.